Why don't you come and take a seat as well? What's your name?
Rehan.
Rayhan?
Uzma.
Uzma? What's your name?
Waka.
Roka? Waka. Yeah. Take a seat here. And we've also got a seat for you on the right hand side. What's your name in the back?
Simra.
Say that again.
Simra.
Simran, yeah?
Simra. With H on it.
Simra. We got
Paul.
We got Will. Mikey, I'm Elam. So, we started, take a seat, get comfortable. We were talking about the fact that, Paul was telling us that, one good thing, that it's a little bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to like these commercial coffee shops. You got the Costa in the sort of shopping centre there. But then once the Costa came to Nelson, that's when it provided an opportunity and a space for like the elderly to kind of meet up, talk. But it's closing down. So Mikey says that's actually an opportunity for people to make their own thing, But also, I was wondering, is there enough spaces for people to sort of meet and talk in this area? Whereabouts are you guys? Are you from Blackburn or what part of Blackburn are you from?
It's near Audley Range.
Oh, right, okay.
Romney Walk.
Romney Walk.
It's near Our Lady's High School.
Okay then. So
near
Shedworth, yeah. So where do you meet up with your friends, your social network? Where do you feel like there's a place for you to meet?
Lots of places in here in Blackburn to meet and greet with friends and family. It's up to you where you want to go, what you like, which place you like to go.
Yeah, what places do you like to go? Where do you like to go to meet people?
There's lots of like Costa as well in here, and Chai Station, and lots of other places as well.
I love a chai.
I was just talking to the security. This is going to be my final thought because I've got to go. But I was talking to the security guard that was patrolling here, and he said the problem with Blackburn is, you've got places to meet up in the middle, but his friends and family don't like coming to the centre of Blackburn.
Oh, really?
So around all the places around Blackburn, like Ewood, what's the other place he was talking about? I can't remember. I'm not from Blackburn, but I was just chatting to him while we were setting up. He was saying, actually, he thinks that the main reason why Blackburn's got its problems because people don't have a place to meet up and talk to each other and actually talk about stuff.
So that's interesting.
I don't agree with
You
that.
don't agree?
There's lots of places in Blackburn open recently. So you can, it's up to you wherever you want to go and which place you like to
So you're
stay.
saying there's actually some new places?
Because I've stayed here, I came here about 26 years ago.
Yeah.
But there's not lots of places open at that time, but at the moment there's lots of things open here.
So you're saying that actually things have really changed for the better, where there's now more
over
places
26
to meet.
years, lots of things changed.
Yeah. Okay, so
compared to other towns.
I mean, how do you think people can find out about all these places? I'll come back to that.
Yeah, I was about to say, so this is my first time in Blackburn, I'm from Birmingham. Where do I need to check out before I go home? If you could give me like one place that I've got to go to, this is like a live Google though. I've got all the residents here. I don't need to go. Where would you say I should go to?
Yeah. Where would you say that we should check out before we get back to?
What do you think, Rehan?
Yeah, what do you think? Where do you like to hang out?
Ewood Park.
Ewood Park. Do you know Ewood Park? Ewood Park? What do you like about Ewood Park?
The football stadium.
The football stadium. Oh, cool. So there's a football stadium there. Oh, nice. Come and take a seat. I think it looks like maybe you know about Ewood Park too. What's your name?
I'm Ben.
Ben. We got.
And I'm Patrick.
Patrick. We got some more people sitting down. Have you heard of Ewood Park before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah.
Hey, so Blackburn Rovers Football Club. What's your name?
Lily.
Lenny, yeah?
Lily.
Lily. What's your
And
name?
Janine.
Janine. We got
Paul.
Rehan.
Usman. Simran. I want to get Simra, yeah? Simra. Wakar. We got Will on the camera there. I'm Elam. This is Talkaoke. This is a free-form talk show, meaning you can talk about absolutely anything. But we kind of started off talking about like Costa coffee shops and what that means for an area. On the one hand, it does bring people together, but at the same time, it is kind of a commercial thing. But are there enough spaces in Blackburn for people to meet? You say, yeah, there is. Other people say no. Do we need more spaces to meet? Where do people like to meet? Where do you like to socialise? Why don't we go around and find out?
Anywhere I can.
Anywhere I can.
Yeah.
It's up to you, whatever
It's up to
Yeah.
you.
choose, yeah.
But you were saying 26 years ago when you first came that actually there wasn't much like public social. Yeah.
Lots better now.
Yeah.
At the moment, a lot better now.
The things have changed. I mean, what do you think? Is Blackburn improving?
Yeah.
You know?
No.
No?
I think it is.
All right.
It is, Paddy.
Hold on. You say
It
yeah,
is.
you say no. All right. I'm going to come to
It
you.
looks better. It looks better than what it did when I grew
Yeah.
up round here.
All right. You say yeah. Why is Blackburn improving?
Because
And then I'm gonna
I
come
think
to
it just looks better.
you. In what way?
Just, I don't know, it just, to me, it looks better.
It
Or am I
visually-
walking round in like...
Aesthetically,
all right.
aesthetically,
Aesthetically.
it looks better,
Take a seat.
but there's less shops.
Yeah.
There's less places to go.
Final thoughts.
Majority of the pubs have gone.
Ah, that's interesting.
So, night out in Blackburn used to be brilliant
Yeah.
10 years ago, maybe a bit more.
Wow.
I wouldn't bother now.
So you're telling me there was more pubs before? All right, I'm going to
There
come
were
back to
pubs,
that point.
nightclubs, there were pubs, nightclubs, bars,
Yeah.
they've all gone.
There was all sorts. All right, I'm going to come back to you. I just want to get a final thought from you on this side. Tell us, what do we need to know? Well, tell us your final thought. It could be about anything. Anything you want to leave us with today. Anything that stood out for you from the conversation.
I think that for Asian community, there's lots of things to
Yeah.
try on. There's lots of things for Asian people to go
Yeah.
to and meet
Yeah.
their friends and family.
What places though? What locations?
Anywhere in Blackburn,
Yeah.
Preston, Bolton. Anywhere.
Yeah. So there's a lot of places for the
Yeah.
Asian community.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from anyone else? No. Oh, wait, no, thank you. We're going to be here till 5 p.m. today. So do come back and let us know what you see. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Cool.
I mean, I'm just picking up on what Paddy said, is that because I'm from Colne and working like Nelson and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think just generally town centres like this
Yeah.
are changing because these shops are going, or you can't. Well, Nelson can't attract any of the big. At least in Blackburn, you've got some of the big shops that people want, but you just can't get them in because for them it's just not viable because of everything else that's going on. So I think there is, and like Mikey was saying earlier, I think the opportunity to rethink what a town centre could be for spaces to come together. I mean, I'm the same. I mean, I like going to the pub. I mean, I'm lucky we've got a lot of little local pubs that are still open. But the thing in town centre, I used to come to Blackburn for a night out, and all those places don't exist anymore. Whether being in a band, playing places, or having a bit of it, if you could go somewhere to find the music that you were into as well, and they don't, unfortunately, don't exist. But it's exciting to try and work out. But it's a challenge to work out what do they need to become rather than just die out, because they still make them look nice. Because I agree, even Nelson looks better.
Aesthetically, it looks great, but the content isn't there. All right, okay, that's really interesting. I mean, last night I was hearing karaoke from all the pubs around there, so I'm quite surprised at pubs. I actually wanted to jump in. Like, let's get some final thoughts from you before you leave us.
You know what? I wouldn't even dare to divulge into how to sort it out. It's above my pay grade, I'm afraid.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't know what you do. I don't know what
you
to
know
do.
what? Why not get involved with the conversation? Let's find out. Let's discuss. Let's shape the future.
Well, I need to
of
feed
this
the boy
area.
first. I'll come back.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Back, we will.
We're going to be here till 5 p.m. today, so come back and let us know what you ate. Any final thoughts?
Benjamin?
Fingers.
Hey, yum, yum, yum. See you shortly. We've got some new faces at the table. What's your name?
It's Abs.
Abs.
Dot. And Liz.
I'm going to pretend that I didn't look at your name badges. Here we go.
It'd be good if everybody wore a name badge when you're in the middle.
We got
Paul, sorry.
We got Will, no problem. I know, maybe we should all wear name badges actually. I don't know. It would. I'm Elan. This is Talkaoke. This is a free-form pop-up talk show. You can talk about anything. I mean, it's really interesting. We started off talking about like Costa coffee because we were sipping on our oats caramel lattes and Paul was saying how actually Costa's is really good. It's a double-edged sword because on the one hand it's good for the area, brings people together. However, on the other hand, it is kind of like a commercial, shop. But the one in Nelson's closing down at the end of June. Yeah, there you go. So how can we then we started to speak about, how can we shape the future of Blackburn? Aesthetically, it looks great. However, the shops are dying down. The shops are empty. So tell me, any thoughts on this or any thoughts on anything? It's up to you where you want to take the conversation.
Well, I think we've had an interesting experience. I think we've been here since January 2021 doing the mass vaccination. So we've seen Blackburn, we've seen the lovely people come for the vaccines.
Yeah.
We're working today, all three of us, and we're just out here just to gently just remind people that it's a walking centre here at Blackburn Crit, and we're all welcoming, and just to come along and have a chat, even if they don't want the vaccine. We're here, and we've just enjoyed the experience of being here, and it's great that the cathedral has given us space. And Dot and myself were retired, so we've actually come out of retirement to be here. I'm quite happy to help, and it's a lovely day.
Oh, lovely! So you're supporting the whole vaccination rollout.
Definitely, and we've had some interesting chats with the people that are attending the festival and the people that are running the festival, and just saying that actually we're in this place where we can meet and celebrate, go on holiday and do events because of the fact that we're all more protected and everything, and I think we're losing sight of that.
Right.
So it's just to encourage people, if you're due for anything, come and see us, no appointment needed. And as I tongue-in-cheek remind people, we don't get an extra £5 every vaccine we do. We get our wage regardless. Wouldn't promote anything we didn't believe in. I wish. So that's why we're sort of mingling with the crowds today.
Okay. Well, that's really interesting. That it's a space to just sort of have a chat about just the general vaccine.
I want to know, what's the reception been up in Blackburn to the vaccine? Has it been welcomed? Has it been quite a struggle to get people to engage? How has it been for you?
That's a good question. What about yourself? How's it been for you?
I think it's been all right, to tell you the truth. We do get some ups and downs, but mainly it's always the good.
Quite positive. So people have a positive perception of the vaccine, and people are quite open to.
Yeah, definitely.
I truly believe that the proof has been in the pudding, so to speak. So right at the beginning, there was a lot of, wonder about this. It's a new thing, and I honestly believe that a lot of people were a year or so down the line, and they've seen that people haven't grown 2 heads, grown an extra limb. So I think they've got more confident in it. And I think between our Blackburn site and our Burnley site, we've done 250,000, and that's just our 2 sites. So there has been a good response.
So that trust has really sort of grown.
Definitely.
Will. Whereabouts are you from?
Birmingham.
What's the perception been like of the vaccine there?
It's been a mix, I think. I think, like you were saying, some people are absolutely. I got straight and got my booster, got everything. I was all up for it, but then, I worked with some people that, had the first one. Were like, I'm not going back. I'm not doing it now. It's not mandatory. I did it because I had to, but now it's not mandatory. I don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
And I think it's really interesting. Like they're saying to me, "Are you going to go back and get another one?" And I went, well, when the government advice comes out and they say this is what you should do, I'll follow that. But I think it's different. It's like a cultural thing. I think for some people as well. It depends what your background is, who you're surrounded with, and the influences you have in your life. I don't know if you have something similar.
So there's a few different influences. I'm just going to grab the name of the new person at the table. What's your name?
Roddy.
Roddy. Oh, perfect. Welcome, Roddy. Liz.
Hi there. Well, what's been really, really interesting, and hearing what you're saying about being called back for your vaccines for your second one, but what's happening now, which I think the public should know, which we've had a lot of people coming for the boosters. They've been vaccinated a year ago, because the majority of people who are going for their summer break, well-deserved, actually need the boosters now.
Oh, really?
So I think don't get to the airports, just check out because you need your boosters. There's not many countries now that you actually don't require your boosters, so I think the public should know that.
Is it just one booster you get, or do you have to keep going for a top up? Is there any advice on that? Because I think I had mine before Christmas. It must have been. So it's like, does it last for a year? Does it not? Is it something we're just following as we go along?
it works out. You've got to look at how many days since you've had your last vaccine, and for your age group, you're entitled to your booster now, and you've also got to be fully vaccinated 14 days before you actually travel. So I wouldn't want people to be in the situation that the snookered basically.
Yeah. I mean, what about Spain? Do I need a booster to go to Spain? I'm going there next week and I haven't had my booster.
Do you know, I'd have to look at the list, but like Liz said, what's happening is people are maybe reading that for particular countries they do need the booster, so they come running down and they ask for the booster, and we say when you're travelling, and they'll say on Saturday, but the thing is it has to be 14 days before you travel, and it does seem a shame because everyone's so desperate to get on holiday, and like we say, we absolutely support that. So yes, you better get online and check your country. And guess what, if you need it 2 weeks before, come and see us.
Hey, fantastic. I mean, I'm going back to London tonight, but if I was staying in the area, I would absolutely come to you for sure. What about yourself? I mean, we've been talking about quite a lot so far. We've only been running for a couple of minutes. Any thoughts on the vaccine, the booster? I mean,
I'm not going to talk about the vaccine, but I was nosy to see, how do you pronounce your second name? O'Meara?
O'Meara, yeah.
Irish. So is it like O'Mara, but a different spelling?
If you're in Ireland, apparently they pronounce it O'Mara. They miss the E out. But it's through marriage, so there's not really any Irish ancestry.
Right.
There's not any Irish ancestry?
On my part, but obviously on my husband's, because it's my name.
Right. Yeah, because I'm nosy about that. I mean, my second name is Buchanan, and it's funny. That's one of these things that everybody, the news and all. My dad runs a single-handed campaign to make clear to the world that you pronounce the name Buchanan, not Buchanan. Buchanan is an anglicised version, and he would say, but you don't say bucket. You say bucket.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so it's if you're in the Gaeltacht or in the in the Gaelic speaking parts of the country, it's Buchanan they say. So names are interesting. And I wondered whether Blackburn has an Irish kind of heritage. I noticed that Jamie, who's got a project in the cathedral there, he was talking about. Well, the guy you introduced me to last night, Stephen Quinn, so there's another good Irish name. And you know, Blackburn has this story that it's currently very invested in it, which is a kind of Asian English. But I haven't heard anybody talk about an Irish community, and I wondered when the Irish community arrived.
I mean, does anyone know the links between Blackburn and the Irish community?
If you're
Irish,
step into that part.
Hey,
there's a welcome
right.
for you.
Oh my gosh. Singing. Oh, this is. Gosh.
If you come.
Hey.
Or Killarney's look so blue.
Amazing. You know, one thing about Talkaoke is singing is banned. However, because your voices were it's banned on the Talkaoke table. However, because your voices were so beautiful, I mean, come on. We had to keep that. So for the person editing, apologies. No, that was lovely.
There's an orthodoxy to this.
You know what, there is actually, but no, it's not that serious.
What the orthodoxy
is, for the Talkaoke. Yeah, so basically this is a pop-up talk show, but what it is that the man who set it up, he said that once people start singing, the energy kind of gets lost of the chat, so then people just want to keep singing. But you know what, right? It's interesting because yesterday we were talking about like the 5 pillars of mental health, and one of them that we said it should be singing. So I don't know, but also going back to your point about looking at like the heritage of this area, do you think people know about the history and heritage of languages and stuff? Because you mentioned the last name Buchanan. Do you think people really know how to sort of like pronounce certain words in the English language as we should? You know?
Okay, on pronunciation of words, I'm going to ask you all, is it scone or scone?
Oh, all right. Let's go around.
I think scone.
Scone, all right. What's yours?
Scone.
Scones.
Come and take a seat. Come and take a seat.
Scones.
Scones.
Oh, it's a declaration of scone.
Oh, scone. Lovely.
It's definitely scone.
Scone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got a scone here.
I don't know.
Go on.
I'd probably say scone. I would, yeah. I probably would.
I think if we're on the scone,
Scone Palace is where Scotland declared its right, of independence over England. So that's you don't say Scone Palace.
I mean,
has that got something to do with the scone though? I thought it was like a Devon Dorset thing though, the scone. Because the other debate is it cream first or jam?
I mean, where are jam first?
Jam first, blob of cream on top, baby.
I mean, let's put it out there. How do you eat your scones? Jams or cream first? I know you're smiling. You're going to have some scones for breakfast?
Butter.
Oh, come on, take a seat. Get involved. Get involved.
Have your butter first.
A bit of butter. Butter first.
Butter. And then your jam, and then your cream, and maybe a strawberry.
Wow.
One scone? Oh my goodness, that's calorific.
That's taking it to a whole nother level.
Pronunciation is one of these oddball things that, depending on, there are misunderstandings about where certain bits of language come from. In Glasgow, there's this thing, whether it's crimpet or crumpet.
Oh.
And, and I have this ongoing battle with my mother-in-law because she is always saying that her mother was very kind of fancy for saying crimpet.
Oh.
Now, my gran never had any affectations, but she says crimpet too, so it's to do with the generation.
All right. Okay,
and a crimpet and a crumpet is an entirely different thing.
Oh, wow. I mean,
there you go.
Wow, okay. So crimpet and crumpet.
Would you agree that what we're doing now is having a blether? Because people in Lancashire don't know what a blether is.
What is a blether?
You see, I lived in the Highlands of Scotland and my family's from Scotland. And we're having a good blether here now. It's a good chat. It's a good chat. A real good blether.
That's interesting.
I guess is that like the equivalent of a natter? You're having a natter. Yeah. That's a Lancashire thing, I think.
Language has, has lots of origins inside it. Like
different roots.
Like the name for the type of jacket that you have. I have a pal from Greenland, and she would say there's only two words in the English language that come from Greenland, and one of them is anorak.
Anorak.
Yeah. So it's a Greenlandian word.
That's so interesting. I mean, do we know enough about languages?
I don't know. There's a big thing in the Midlands, and maybe you can help settle this, is what you call, is it a roll, a batch, a cob, a bun? What is it? Okay, yeah. That's what I want to get the ideas
so listen again, a roll?
Yeah, see, we call it like, so you got a batch, you got a roll, you got a cob, you got a bun. What do you call it?
And these are sort of sandwiches. What do you call it?
It's a barm cake. Barm cake.
What is that?
It's like a savoury. What you put your
bun.
Right, okay, a bun. We got a bun here. We got a bun.
It's a muffin.
It's a muffin. Shakura.
I guess I don't know what you're talking about. It's truth.
I mean, what
I don't know what you're talking. I mean, I know generally what you're talking about, but I couldn't see that's. Yeah, so you're saying a burger roll. So you're trying to identify that to me, but a burger roll is a different thing again, isn't it?
Right.
I think probably a cob. Cob we would call it in Brom.
Yeah, a cob.
Sandwich like bread, like. I don't know. No. What? No, it's a cob.
It's a tea cake.
A cob. I've never heard of a cob.
Oh, I don't know. No, see, it's quite a versatile word in Birmingham. It can encompass a lot of different sort of pastry-related edibles.
Yeah.
Well-fired rolls.
Say that again.
We have a specific well-fired rolls, which is a roll that's been in too long in the oven, but people want to buy it like that.
Oh, really? So it's like burn.
Yeah.
And when you say where you're from, where are you from?
Where are we from? That's a tricky thing. I'm from Glasgow. And I suppose that's funny, if you ask people, then you start to say, well, whereabouts in Glasgow do you come from? I don't know anything about the south side of the river. I only know about the north. So, I mean, I'm saying I'm from Glasgow, but I'm not really. I'm from the north side of the Glasgow.
Right.
And then, if you think of my family's relationship to it, they would say they're from the East End. So, as a whole family, we would think ourselves psychologically as being from the East End.
In what part of the East End, right?
I know, Denison.
You know what I mean? That's so interesting. I mean, where are you from? Is it... How do we feel about that question? Do we know where we're from? You know?
Well, I would My mum and dad are from the Highlands of Scotland, so I would actually say that, I've got English background, but they're from the Highlands, and I've got very much akin to the Highlands too. Just outside, it's Argyll and then Tain and all around there, and I worked in Aviemore before I came down here, so I've got lots of...
and somebody was talking about yesterday. So somebody was talking about Tain. It was the guy who did the big talk yesterday in the cathedral, big kind of celebrity potter.
Right.
Do you know the guy? Well, he was working outside London, and the company decided to up stakes and go to Tain.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying you feel a connection to the Highlands, so that's where you feel like you're from. Is it?
In the Highlands there, but
right. Okay, so you're saying that your heart is it about where you feel a connection for?
No, I'm joking. My heart isn't in the Highlands. Like many other people, Glasgow is largely an Irish immigrant community. We are majority Irish. Everybody is really. There are Highlanders who came down, and in fact, that's where a lot of tension still is there. If you're thinking of tensions in the community between, if you're looking at the football teams, Rangers and Celtic would be often would be an Irish and Highland kind of confrontation.
Right, that's interesting. So there's a lot of Irish immigrants in the Highlands. But I mean that question of like, is it about where you feel you have a connection to? That's where you kind of say you're from. Will, did you have your hand?
Yeah, mine is a bit more of a curveball because one of the other things is when you're in the middle, you're not really allowed an opinion. So, but Ellen said something earlier that I want to bring to everyone's attention. This is the furthest north that Ellen has ever been, right? And we were saying you were thinking it's quite cold up here. So I just thought because you're from even further north than this, is it relatively warm? Is it a warm day,
I remember working in Aberdeen, and I met a soldier who'd gone AWOL from his army barracks, and he was into Northern Soul Northern Soul music. But his whole claim, which I thought was kind of extraordinary, was you couldn't be into Northern Soul if you're from anywhere south of Inverness. You had to be Northern Soul. He totally took away the claim from the north of England and said it had to come from Inverness. That was really Northern Soul.
Wow.
Just because he was even more northern.
He's a madman.
He's madman.
He'd gone AWOL from the army, and I didn't believe him until we went out and saw his car with the German number plate, military number plate.
Right, so he'd gone AWOL.
He'd actually just driven from Germany, and then we were dancing to Northern Soul music in a club in Aberdeen.
Right. And it's so even music can really sort of identify you as a person.
Because I find it interesting. So all my friends in London, I'm only from Birmingham, but they call me Northern, and like when I'm up north up here, they call me Southern. So where is the line for people where you become a Northerner? Where would you say anywhere north of where you become a Northerner?
That's a good question. Where is the line? The north and south? Where's the line?
It's the hierarchy of geography. I always wondered about that too, and I wondered whether people on the equator said, I'm from the equator, and somebody would say, you're not really for the equator, you're from north of the, whether there was a snobbery about really being from the middle. Because I up in the north, I had students, the Greenlandic student who told me the anorak story, she would often be kind of dismissive of Europeans for having kind of southern heritage, but it was Norway, so actually the population, many of the students were coming from further north than she was, so they would they would insult her by saying southern softy, to the lassie from Greenland.
Right. I mean, is there always gonna be like beef between the north and the south? Is there always gonna be an issue between the north of the world and the south? I mean, where are you from? Where are you from? How do you respond to that question? Interesting.
When you asked about the north and south divide, ironically, my husband, we always class Birmingham as the middle because seriously, because if we're going away, especially Devon, Cornwall, my husband always says we need to be past Birmingham by 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So that's it.
Right.
Oh, I've been as well. Been as well. Is it the Bull Ring? Yeah, I've been. And just before I go, I'm just going to remind you that a cob may be a bread roll in your area, but if you're in Lancashire, if you're in a bad mood, you've got a cob on.
Oh, okay. Cob on. Here's a sandwich. But any final thoughts from yourself, Liz?
Just all have a great day and just rejoice being out here and be happy again and fantastic. It's lovely to see you all, and it's great just to be with human beings again.
Definitely.
Amazing. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts? Anything you want to leave us with?
just doing a great work.
Hey, welcome. Thank you. See you soon. We're here till 5. Let us know how everything goes. I mean, where do we want to take the conversation? Do we want to?
Here's a thought. Cob. When she was talking about cob.
Yeah, cob on.
What about cop? Like the cop? Does anybody know where the cop comes from?
The police cop?
No, I meant in like Liverpool, where the fans stand. The cop.
Oh.
Do you know where that comes from?
No, I only know it as.
Tell us.
Yeah, the cop that came from a battle in South Africa where 300 Lancashire men were killed, and several football teams named their stands after particular cop in South African or in Afrikaans is hill.
It means
hill, yeah. So it was it was a South African battle in the Boer War where 300 Lancashire men died, and theirs was the only stadium that kept on. I think that maybe around here there might be a history of having a cop as well, but
interesting. I mean, you know what, kind of linking this whole thing of languages, and do we need to sort of you were saying how the Costa's closing down. Where are people going to meet after that Costa closes down? Like, how can we shape the future of Blackburn? Do we need to sort of create like a new name that kind of encompasses maybe the people of Blackburn, or represents like a new space where people can meet, or does this place already exist? Will?
I don't know. I'm more interested in like the history of Blackburn. I don't know much about it. I mean, what we were having a conversation. Who's the most famous person that's ever come out of Blackburn? Do you know anyone famous that's ever come out of Blackburn? Who's the most famous person to come out of the area?
Will it be you?
Could
10 years from now?
That's what we're talking about. Come find out with us. Having 2 minutes. Come on. Come sit down.
We need ya. What's your name? Tell us your name.
Rebecca.
Becca. 5 seconds of summer. Or hopefully we'll have a bit more than 5 seconds of summer this year.
Alicia.
Sorry, what's your name?
Alicia.
Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia. Evie, yeah?
Yeah.
Evie. We got...
I'm Roddy.
I'm Paul.
Will. This is Talkaoke. It's a free-form pop-up talk show. You can talk about anything. Maybe I'll do a quick summary of what we've been speaking about. Come and join us. Get involved with the conversation. We're talking about spaces in Blackburn. We're talking about famous people in Blackburn. You seem quite keen to talk about. Do you know any famous people?
I don't think I know anybody.
Yeah. Do you know any?
Well, I live locally. I'm not quite in Blackburn, just outside of, but I can't think. There's the Cole Fogarty, but he's not really Blackburn, is he? He's a cyclist, motorcyclist.
He's a motorcyclist.
Yeah.
Cole Fogarty. How about yourself? What's your name?
I'm Rhiannon.
Yeah. Do you know any famous people from Blackburn?
I don't.
You don't.
Who's the guy that invented who's attached to the Adidas trainers? He's really well known here.
I wouldn't know his name though.
So you're saying somebody created this?
Gary Aspen.
Aspen.
So I think he's from Darwin actually, not Blackburn.
Yeah.
And so he designs trainers for Adidas, and a lot of the Adidas trainers always have a name, don't they? Some of them were named after streets in Darwin and stuff like that. So it's kind of been involved in bits up here to kind of just to sort of help showcase like
the design and creativity.
which is quite a nice way of bringing that kind of connection to place that you can suddenly put it on something that's got that global reach. It means something in Blackburn. It means something to them, which is amazing.
Last night the DJ, he was from Blackburn.
Oh right, okay then. That DJ who was there tonight. What's his name? Sorry?
Bobby Singh.
Bobby Singh. I mean, he told us his name was DJ Bruce Forsyth. Is that the same?
DJ Bruce Forsyth.
That's what he told us. I don't know.
That's a good one.
Hey, well, I know, the English flags, fantastic. With the poppies as well, with a Union Jack as well there. Do you know any famous people that we don't know about from Blackburn?
No.
No. I mean, what you were saying, Paul, about, Will?
Yeah, I was going to say, what is it that like people when they come to visit? So this is my first time in the area. I've been over to Nelson a few times, around the area, by sort of Pendle Way, but I've never been to this side of the town. So what should we check out? What's the sort of driving factor behind here? Is there anything good that you enjoy? Is there anything you'd like to see improved around here? That's what I want to know about.
Tell us, what's the site other than the cathedral, of course? What other things should we be looking at?
Blackburn Mall's pretty good.
Say that again.
Blackburn Mall.
Blackburn Mall. Whereabouts is Blackburn Mall?
It's like 2 minutes around the corner.
Oh, that's that big shopping spot.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like to do there?
Shop.
Hey. You know, some people like to hang out, don't they?
Yeah.
Some people like to skateboard in shopping centres. What about yourself?
I don't know.
Any good spots we should know about in Blackburn?
I don't know.
Don't know, not yet.
Blackburn Museum's quite good.
Ah.
It's famous for its Egyptian section, and there's a mummy there.
Oh, there's an actual mummy there.
An actual mummy, yeah.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to think, because I've been here quite a few times in different ways, but yeah. The museum, what I always remember about the museum is got this fantastic cabinet that's just got all the different insects of the world. Ooh. And these beetles that just get bigger and bigger, and you think, does that actually exist somewhere? These huge creepy crawlies, but I remember that as a kid. And I still look at that every time I go in the museum. I still go and look at that one cabinet just to see these mad insects.
I mean, have you managed
that
to see some of these beetles in real life in their real life locations before? Like,
no, I'm not that well travelled.
Hey,
because they don't live here.
I mean, look, there's so much in Blackburn. Maybe you don't need to travel. You know, maybe everything's in Blackburn. I mean, what's so good about Blackburn? We've heard about the Museum of Blackburn, the shopping mall. You know, anywhere else we should know about? You know, what about yourself?
The Makers Lab.
The Makers Lab. Tell us where that is and what that is.
That way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and find it hopefully today.
Right. And what are you hoping to see in the Makers Lab? What we're going to see there?
A really big laser cutter.
A big laser cutter. What is a laser cutter? Do you know what a laser cutter is? Do you know what a laser cutter is? A laser cutter? A laser cutter? Come and take a seat. Tell us about it. Tell us about it. You know, what should we be cutting out of laser? What can we create from laser that will exist 500 years from now, like this cathedral? I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming it's about 300 years old or so. I don't know. Maybe we can find out. What is a laser cutter? And have you used one before?
No, I've not used one, but I know the potential for laser.
What's the potential?
People who make false teeth use them for a start, don't they?
Get some false teeth. I mean, I was looking around actually. I did notice some people laser
cut teeth.
Yeah.
No, but that's one kind of dental practice I don't want to experience.
Yeah. Oh wow, so you can actually create teeth from them, you know? Come and join us. Have you heard of laser cut teeth before? I
guess if you're talking about what Blackburn's famous for, and I guess why we're here today, this idea of the Festival of Making, is that there is a history in Blackburn in Lancashire of lots of really innovative stuff over the years and even today. So like the fact that there's a maker's room in Blackburn where you could go and have a go at some stuff and turn your ideas into reality. I think Lancashire is a place that has done that historically, that I guess this is a way of getting back to that route a little bit. So it's famous for making and invention and changing the world in some respects.
You know, we are at the Festival of Making. Do we need to have like a stall, a stand where you can actually maybe make anything out of laser? If you need a new tooth, you could sort of, you know, kind of fashion one at the stand. Maybe at the next Festival of Making we can have a laser cutting platform. I mean, it's interesting what you were talking about with the history of Lancashire. What is the making history of Lancashire? What kind of things did Lancashire make?
I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but it seems like in my couple of days up here, I've seen loads of people into music, some really fashionable people. And we were at some of the rock bars that were around. So it was like the Drummer's Arms and the Rock Box that was up the road. And I just wondered, is that something that people in the area really like? Do they like making music? Is it famous for music? I mean, I don't know. I would never have thought of laser cutting teeth being the thing that is famous in Blackburn. But you know, I'm learning lots here. It's really interesting.
You never know. I mean, is music what everyone's making? What are you making any music?
I play guitar at school sometimes.
Yeah. Do you feel like you know, Blackburn is an area? Did you say you live just outside of Blackburn? Do you feel like this area, you know, the wider area of Lancashire in general, is very like supportive of like the making of music?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, 10 years from now, you could be the famous person from this area. I don't know. Are you into music making? Do you think this area is like great for like music, you know?
I think there's a lot of festivals.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What festival should we be looking out for? Or let's get a final thought from you before you leave us. A final thought? Final thought about anything. Anything you want to leave us with. What should we be talking about? Or anything that's
Final thought. Aberfeldy Street. Who's been to Aberfeldy?
Hey, where is Aberfeldy?
Yeah, there you go. Ask people that.
Tell us about that. Look, I know, but Aberfeldy, yes, Aberfeldy Street's in London, but where is Aberfeldy, the city? Come on, tell us. Where? Perth. Perth, did you say? Perth.
From the same place as I come from, Belfast.
Hey, tell us.
I think he's from Belfast. He had a Belfast accent, I think, anyway.
But
are you talking about music?
Yeah.
I'm in the Rosendale Male Voice Choir.
Oh, tell us about that.
Who are very shortly, 2024 is our centenary.
Wow.
And we're doing lots around in the area at the minute. Our MD actually does the choir in the cathedral.
Wow.
Matthew Thomas.
So you're telling me it's been around for 100 years?
98 years it's been going, yeah. Ernest Tomlinson started it, and his son wrote the theme music for Monty Python's.
Oh my God. I mean, that is...
Yeah, so there's lots of music in the area.
Do you think enough people know about this choir?
No.
Yeah?
No, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to do lots to promote the choir, to get new members. We want to have 100 members for the centenary.
Yeah.
At the minute we've got 62, I think, so we've got to get another 38.
I mean, how can we help you promote the choir, you know? Is there enough spaces for you to sort of perform in this area? Where do you perform?
We're trying to move away from the traditional. We normally just performed in churches and cathedrals. We've been doing railway stations, pop-up bars and things.
Bridgewater
We're trying to get it known. We're doing a pub crawl with a vintage bus at the end of this month.
That sounds
and we're just going to sing one song in each pub in the Rottenstall area.
Yeah, I mean, will you be dressed in vintage clothing as well? You're going to wear some vintage clothing too? You know?
What do you think?
I just want to point out we're talking about a choir while there's a choir singing in the background. It's pretty good.
Let's get a final thought from you before you leave us. Let's get a final thoughts.
I think I'm going to have to learn how to laser cut teeth because I've just got a laser cutter.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we're going to be here till 5 o'clock, so let us know how it all goes at the sort of making space. Oh, let's get a final thought as well.
I've promoted the choir a little bit, so I'll be in good books tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic. Oh my gosh, we're here till 5.
What is this?
So this is Talkaoke. This is a pop-up talk show. You can talk about anything. I mean, we've been talking about so much today, from Costa Coffee closing down in Nelson to is there enough spaces to socialise in this area, Blackburn, you know? So we're going to be talking until 5. So come back, let us know what other things you've seen at the festival. Thank you for joining us.
Take a photo.
Oh, please do. Take away. Tag us on social media.
Nice to hear about what you do.
We've got to go because I've got an appointment, but what I would say is that music-wise, what Blackburn is particularly famous for was all the acid house parties back in the 90s and things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
tell us about them. What was it like?
I'm slightly too young, but if you speak to a lot of people, that was big on the culture and the illegal raves and things. And
A rave sound effect.
No. And then I suppose, again, when I was younger, there used to be a big nightlife in Blackburn, and that sort of went downhill after the financial crisis, and it's never really built back up again.
That's so interesting how it's known for all of the acid house raves. Is there any final thoughts from you guys? Anything you want to leave us with? I think, Paul, do you have a question just before?
No, just that just because you mentioned that is one actually round here. It was. I mean, there's always disputed things about like hacienda and all that, but it actually started in farmlands around Blackburn. And there's I think a guy called Jamie what's he called? Artist Jamie, forgotten his last name, is in Blackburn. He's done a really interesting project where he's kind of got all that history together and done a bit of a map as a timeline of all these different venues. It's a bit like Northern Soul, like all these venues used to host things as like, well, it was like feeder clubs in Northern Soul, but here, you know, like clubs where they do it, and then everyone would end up somewhere somehow. And there's a mad film that shows how they used to power it, you know, all the legal aids. It's amazing.
I mean, that's so. Thank
but again,
you
it's innovation, isn't it? And you know.
I mean, how exciting that you've left that sort of history of this area with us, because I'm definitely going to be asking some people about the history of acid house parties in the area. You know what I mean? Can we link the choir with that sort of musical history? I don't know.
Music brings people together, doesn't it? So that's the one thing it definitely does. So I like that.
Well, let us know what other things you see at the Festival of Making today. We're here till 5 o'clock. So.
We might be back this way yet.
Yeah, perfect. Tell us what you see.
Brilliant. Thank you
for
much.
joining us. See you soon. Wow, I mean, that was such a great conversation, actually. I mean, I don't know, I'm really kind of excited to hear more about this, the acid house parties and the history of that in Blackburn.
Paul had it right. The closest we could get is... That's about it, I think. I think we need to update it with some more...
Absolutely.
I mean, what is acid house rave, though? Like, how would you describe that?
Yeah, let's find out. Does anyone know? Do you know what an acid house rave is? Apparently Blackburn is known for that. Were you there? Were you at those parties in the farmlands? You know? Come and take a seat. What is an acid house rave? What's acid house music? You know, does it sound like the choirs? I don't know. There's a history of singing and choirs in the area. Acid house raves, you know.
I think it's interesting because obviously there is a Northern Soul connection to Lancashire and Blackburn, but that was all to do with music coming over from America, soul music coming through, like, you know, access to the docks and the canal, bringing it. So in the north, you had access, or people got access to this music before anybody else did it. And I think that the same thing happened with acid houses that came over from Chicago, and it was just, and also that whole thing about the working class as well. Is that like you've grafted all week, and then there's a moment where you have the blowout, and that's where these kind of events came together, where you had a massive session, dancing, everything else that went with it that we could may or may not talk about, but it was like it was the release, wasn't it, of it? And it's interesting that we've had these scenes of soul and acid house rave, and also reusing, just like using empty spaces legally, illegally, whatever it is, for mass people just to come together.
Okay, so I mean, there's so much to Blackburn. So you say that the canals had such an impact on the kind of music that was sort of brought in. Not only do we have the choirs, we also had like the influence from the America, you know, influence in like the Northern Soul music. Then we had like the acid house, and it's just people sort of reappropriating spaces that already exist. I mean, we were talking about the fact that there's a lot of spaces in the area that could be occupied. Do we need to start occupying some of these empty shops with raves? I don't know, with music. We've got some new faces at the table. Let me get your name.
Hi, my name's Ahmed.
Ahmed, we got...
My name's Mike.
Mike, come and take a seat. Get involved. Come a bit closer, get involved. At The People Speak on Instagram. So yeah, I mean, I think you heard a bit about what we were talking about in terms of the history of music in the area. And earlier Will was actually trying to find out what is, we see what's here today, and what is the history of Blackburn. It's through the conversation we're discovering that there's a rich musical history as well. We heard about a choir that's going to be celebrating their 100th year anniversary in 2 years' time, and we've also heard about acid house music and the Northern Soul. Do you guys know about did you know acid house was created in this area? You know, are you guys from Blackburn? No. Where are you from?
Well, originally from Liverpool. But we moved to Ellesmere Port in 1971.
Oh wow.
And we lived there for 47 years.
Yeah.
Because of work.
Yeah.
And then 4 years ago we moved to Barrowford.
Oh, I've heard of Barrowford.
It's a really nice place.
Yeah. And you're from Liverpool as well?
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so we're husband and wife.
Yeah.
So,
But the music scene in Liverpool was, I was brought up in the 60s and 70s. It was all soul, Motown, Atlantic, Stax.
Yeah.
Really, really good music.
Yeah.
And then moved on then to the heavy metal, which you weren't into at all.
Right, okay.
And it's interesting, like that soul music, you know, Town and Motown, Four Tops, Temptations, and going further back, the likes of you know, Benny King, Otis Redding, the great Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, ooh. You know your soul music. I just want to find out from Ahmed here. I mean, did you know about the history of music in the area? Are you from Blackburn?
Yes, I'm from Redbridge Road area, just outside of Blackburn. Well, not outside, but it's towards the middle. But no, I didn't know they had a rich music history, to be fair. But in my opinion, it's I think it's not accessible to get the history of Blackburn. As in, I wouldn't. If for me, I wouldn't know where to go to actually find out about the history of Blackburn.
I mean, that's interesting because, you know, we that's what we're kind of talking about now. What is the history of Blackburn? And, you know, we're just trying to work out what is the history of Blackburn. What was here before? What's been created here? So you're saying you wouldn't even know where to start. I know, Paul?
Well, I mean, I think it's right. It's like, you know, unless you know about these things or experience them, is how do you find out? And I guess it's where history it needs to be updated, doesn't it? So now we're talking about like acid house as being history. I mean, it's probably 30 years ago or something like that, but it is part of a history of a place. But just going back to your point is it was that because of that Liverpool, where all that stuff come into Liverpool, it did come down the canals to places like this, but also back then, like where I'm from, because I used to live in Barrowford. I live in Earby now, but my dad was my middle name's Otis, after Otis Redding, because my dad's like obsessed with him. But you could see Otis Redding, Stevie Wonder in Nelson. In the Imp, all these huge stars would come to these little towns. So Blackburn still gets music and some of the bands come in, but these little towns had these. The Beatles played in Nelson, Rolling Stones, and it's like it's just such a shame that you don't get that level anymore. That you have to go to a big stadium, but they play these little clubs where you'd experience that quality of stuff. You know,
I mean, it's so interesting that, you know, Blackburn was really bringing in the top artists. And now they can't even bring in a little H&M. I mean, earlier somebody was saying that actually, you know, unfortunately, a lot of these big chains, a lot of these chain stores, they don't want to come to this area because they don't see the value in it, because they're just not the people. But I'm like, my God, there must have been such a, you know, an interesting amount of people here before who could draw in a crowd.
Yeah, but the thing is, does Blackburn need a new H&M? Is the question. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like somebody at the start of the day was saying that aesthetically Blackburn's got so beautiful lately, but they don't feel like there's enough in the place. So, I mean, I hear a lot of people say, no, we need more, we need this, we need that. But I mean, I can see you at the back, standing there. Come and sit down. What does Blackburn need? What is it? Is it a revival of this, you know, these soul musicians? Is it bringing more of that back, or is it time to transition into a new era of the North and try and find a new identity?
Or do we need to find out about the history? Do we need a historical museum of Blackburn? Do you know about the history of Blackburn? What does Blackburn need? I think that's a good question. I mean, for you, did you grow up in this area?
So I think it's about the demographic as well.
Right.
I mean, I'm 28 now, and if you would ask me to look into the history of Blackburn, again, like I said before, I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know what the history is. But I mean, now that the demographic of Blackburn, the youths are coming up now. They need to be, I think, get a bit more educated as well on without losing the history of Blackburn, because I think that's what's going to happen. The next couple of generations, we might have an issue where we lose the history of Blackburn because we're not being educated as much as we should be.
I mean, I just wonder, what does that education of a history of Blackburn look like? Is it about, you know, getting some of those archival photographs of Otis Redding and Aretha Franklin, you know, in an exhibition? We've got some new faces at the table. What's your name?
Hiya, my name's Noreen.
Noreen?
Yep. My name's Yahya.
Yahya? Yahya. Perfect.
My name's Joyce.
Joyce.
We've met before.
We met before, I know, but for the people that haven't met you yet.
I'm Mike.
And then we've also got Ahmed. We got Will, we got Paul. This is Talkaoke. Come and join us. This is a pop-up talk show. Do you know about the history of Blackburn? Did you know that about the acid house raves? I mean, so right now we're just kind of talking about the area, but it turns out that actually Ahmed doesn't really know much about the history of the area, but what does Blackburn actually need? Does it need a new H&M, or does it need some new spaces of like culture and creativity? I mean, we're at the Festival of Making now. Paul was saying actually this area has a rich history of making and some really sort of fantastic industries. But do we know enough about that? What making is happening now? Apparently there's a CAD machine, if you know what that is, working its way, making false teeth down the road. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about on the table right now. Are you from Blackburn?
No, I'm not from Blackburn. I'm from Scotland. But I've been here like nearly 5 years.
Right.
But yeah.
Let's get a final thought from you.
Nibbling.
Ooh, what are you going to be eating?
Well, there's a lady over there. I believe she was on television a little while ago. And she won a pie making competition, a national. I'm pretty sure it's that girl, and I want a taste of local cuisine.
Hey, I love it.
Just to
mezzanine pies or something. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they did. She did win a massive pie award. Yeah.
Really? Oh right. Well, you know what? I mean, imagine that there's pie making in Blackburn as well.
Yeah.
I mean, let us know how they taste. Or maybe bring one over. I don't know.
We just need it first.
Any final thoughts?
Well, definitely should be more things going on for culture in Blackburn, definitely.
Yeah. What things would you like to see?
Well, like say exhibitions and bringing people back to the music, you know. But I mean, I don't know much about
people. You know, the thing that it really needs to be advertised more. You know, local radio, television, and get people in. Day like today, this place should be absolutely heaving with people.
Right.
But it's not. You know, it's a shame.
How
really.
did you find out about this event?
My daughter-in-law works for the Blackberry generation.
Hey, all right. So you're always in the know. Blackburn region. Where's your daughter? Is your daughter here today? Okay.
Just before you go, because you live in Barrowford, we've actually got a festival in Nelson on 25th of June, Festival of Culture. So come up the road to Nelson.
Yep.
25th of June, Saturday 25th of June.
Yeah.
In the Nelson Town Centre. Just take over the town centre. Yeah. So come up there. Yeah.
Imagine that. Festival of Culture, 25th of June. In the town centre of Nelson. Did you know about it? You do now. We got a new face at the table. What's your name? Thank you so much for joining us. We got a new face at the table. What's your name?
My name's Helen.
Helen. Welcome, Helen. This is Talkaoke. This is a pop-up talk show. We're talking about everything Blackburn and beyond. We're talking about Lancashire. We're talking about making. We're talking about the history of making in the area. What is the future of making? I know you said that you've been in Blackburn for 5 years. I mean, what's kept you here?
It's just the community. It's nice. It's welcoming. I mean, we visited the canal just a few weeks ago, and we noticed there's so much history to that. Like we saw the stables, but it's all history that's forgotten. So it needs to be revived again and shown to the youth that look, all this hard work of the previous generation need to be appreciated. Because nowadays it's too much social media, gadgets. People need to get back to these. I mean, this is great. We need to have more of these.
I mean, it's you and Ahmed are sharing sort of the same sentiments. I mean, you both kind of feel like, do you know enough about the history of the area? You know, you're both sort of saying, actually, people don't know enough about the history of Blackburn. I mean, the canals, apparently you can walk to Liverpool from, if you go along the canal. I'm not sure how long that would take, but I mean, so you're saying actually people have their heads in the phones on social media, so they're not seeing the history and amazing beauty of the area. So tell us, what is it? What is that soundboard?
I was trying to find a walking one. It said jump, but I didn't realise it was a gaming jump, so it was a little bit awkward. So apologies. But no, I just find it really interesting you bringing up like spending too much time online, getting out in nature again, because actually yesterday we had almost the opposite conversation with a lot of people in the area saying that they really like being online, but they couldn't quite find the balance really, and there wasn't much to do in the area, so they wanted to spend more time online. So it would. My question was, what can we bring to the area that's going to entice people to spend more time being outdoors? You know, is it having, I don't know, like a virtual walk along the canal where you can like scan your phone and get the history of an area, or you know, is it what is it that's going to entice people away?
How could we combine maybe like can we combine history, technology All together?
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely there could be a combination.
Yeah.
It has to appeal to every generation, the youth, the elderly.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah. So you're saying something that's like intergenerational.
Definitely.
Could work. Do we need? I mean, what about a festival on the canal? Do we need to actually have a festival on the canal?
It's artists. I think it's like get the artists in.
Get the artists in, yeah. I know. I turned up a
they
little
bring
bit.
people together and introduce different ideas and different subjects together, and kind of, especially if they're like wanting to get that community engagement type thing, they're kind of skilled in that way. So I think,
I can also just add that the canal needs a good clean up.
Right.
And it has to be accessible to the public because it's all hidden away.
Oh.
All these gems are hidden away.
So you're saying the canal is hidden away?
Hidden away. So it needs to be opened up. You know, something like Venice. You know, the boat. Something. You know, like that.
So you're saying the canal is actually quite hidden. How did you? Let's get a final thought before you leave us.
I'm going seeing a talk in a second.
Oh, what's the talk? Tell us. What's
the
talk
talk is Hannah Leighton Boyce, and she's in the Cotton Exchange.
Who is that?
She's an artist. She's doing amazing things. She's done the art and manufacturing residency, and she's talking now. 1 o'clock.
She was sitting around the table
She might have been. Yeah. She's very cool.
Oh, I'd love to see some of that.
She's been doing some amazing stuff. So I'm going to head off.
Wow. So she's actually doing. She's creating links. Did you say?
She's been creating work over the last couple of years in manufacturing and in this industry with somebody like with terracotta from Blackburn.
So there's terracotta in Blackburn.
Yeah,
I need a new
industry.
Pot. I need a new
Right, I'm gonna shoot.
Well, thank you. So you've definitely dropped a nice gem on the table about the terracotta. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought I would have seen more terracotta pots around walking through Blackburn, but so you're telling me that there's a lot of terracotta in Blackburn.
I didn't know about the terracotta, but there is the other just down the road at Accrington's famous for Accrington brick, which is red brick.
Oh right.
Yeah. So I don't know why it is, but a lot of the buildings that are with red brick are from. It's from.
And it's particular. Well, are they better bricks? Are they?
Particularly, it's very very hard material.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There's a funny story.
Tell us.
It's actually called Norai. And the reason why it's called Norai brick is that the factory in Accrington that made it, when someone made the gates for it, and it said iron, but they put the iron the wrong way around. So from the front it read Norai. So it got known as Norai brick.
Norai. It's interesting because we were talking about language earlier and some of like the origins of some words, and are we pronouncing it correctly? But this one, unfortunately, I don't know. Someone did the wrong thing there, but it's so interesting. Everything seems to be going back to like nature, material. You know, we're talking about the canal and how the canal was really the channel through which people experience new music. You know, through the way for people to experience calm and peace in nature. We're talking about clay. We're talking about bricks. Apparently, you can get the strongest bricks in Accrington. You know. We're talking about green spaces.
I think Marshalls make the brick now, but just going back to your point about the canal, I think it's difficult because the canal is hidden, but I guess it's hidden because of its history and the fact that all it did was fed the industry. So that industry was just there for people working. It was never designed as a place to go walking or nature, but now it is. So how you reveal it, I think, is a real challenge because it's not in a place that would have attracted people to come down to it. Because in Pendle, where we are in Nelson and that lot, it still runs by places where all the old mill buildings are, which are now still garages or storage spaces or manufacturing places. So it's not where you'd normally just go. So how bits of it are really open, but bits where it goes in through the nice bits, I guess.
Do you want to add something when you went to the canal?
Yeah, first time I went to the canal, I never saw it because it's like some places covering it. There's bushes everywhere, you can't see it. So I went to the canal. I thought it's just a different place. I've never seen it before.
Yeah. How did it make you feel there?
It felt like naturistic. It was really. It's new to my mind and I've never seen this before. And some group, they opened a bike riding. So me and my family, we went bike riding from the canal all the way to a park, which is probably around Witten Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. I got to yeah, it was really relaxing.
Yeah, you got to experience that. I really wanted to check out the canal.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to walk down there next time.
I mean, it's amazing that you've just experienced. For me, it's like I've grown up with the canal, you know, because it's near where I live.
Yeah.
But for someone to then experience it the first time, I'm kind of jealous that someone's been able to do that again. It's like, because when you are down there, it is some of the bits, because you actually, the fact that it's hidden's quite nice as well. It's like, because you're just on this like meandering thing that for the first time it'd be like, what is, you know, what is this?
Have you walked along the canal before?
No, I haven't. I can't say I have, but it's something that I am interested in doing. To be fair. Yeah. Oh right, okay. Inham Wharf, yeah.
Right.
See, I've always driven past it, but I've never actually thought about walking alongside
so
it.
You know, jump out that car and get walking. You know.
Where's the access point to the canal? Is it?
Car park is.
Yeah.
There's the stairs there, so just right there. Yeah.
Stairs. You know, I know I'm not meant to give my opinion, but I live right by the canal in London, in East London, in Hackney, and to be honest, that has really grown. Come and join us. Do you know about the canal? Oh, okay, I won't talk to you about that. Yeah, there's a canal in Hackney. Yeah, so I live literally right opposite the canal, and it's very busy. It's very vibrant. There's restaurants and everything. I mean, yeah. I mean, and to be honest, it's a very calming place.
If you're going to do canals, you've got to come to Birmingham. We got the best canals in Birmingham. We've got more canals than in Venice in Birmingham.
Really?
That's what we're famous for, yeah.
Are people on the sort of...
Ours is the longest.
Yeah, it's not one of... yeah, you know what, I was trying to keep it family friendly, but you know, like, thanks for that one. So, no, I think, yeah, it's a real community aspect to it, especially in the Midlands, to be able to go, quite a lot of families go for walks, and like you say, there is still the remnants of how they were used for industry in Birmingham, but that's almost become part of the attraction. You know, there's like history walks that you can go on, and you can see sort of the industrial part of the city, then it goes through into the new residential areas, and you know, it's intricated even into, you know, being able to eat out. They've made, you know, eateries and restaurants built around the canal so that it can really become part of Birmingham's identity. So maybe that's what Blackburn needs to bring to it a bit more, highlight it. Maybe make new canals. Why not? Branch out a bit, like, you know, have something that goes off it.
You know, but do we need...
What comes to the budget, isn't it? What can the government afford? What can the council afford?
Come and join us.
There's so many cutbacks.
I know. Do we need some historical walks in this area? I'm not going to lie. En route into Blackburn, I actually Googled some historical walks in the area. I couldn't find any. Come and join us. Get involved. You know, I couldn't find any historical walks. Apparently, this area's got a history of witches, and I was so curious to sort of like find out about the rich witch history of the area, but I couldn't find any sort of walks. Do we need some more walking tours of this area? But yeah, I mean, where do we want to take the conversation? I feel like today we really have... Yeah, Ahmed?
I'd like to say, I think the biggest thing currently right now that attracts me to Blackburn is the making rooms.
Oh, making rooms.
Honestly, it's probably the biggest gem that I found in Blackburn.
All right, tell us about the making rooms.
So,
what is it? Where is it?
Well, for my wedding, we wanted to do some custom bespoke, you know, wedding decor.
Yeah.
So we decided to do some projects in the making room, which is down in the town centre near Town Hall.
Yeah.
I think gay people are disgraces.
You think? So I mean, what? So you think gay people are disgraceful? I mean, earlier it's interesting what somebody was saying on this side about they are trying to work out why people are gay, you know, and you know, what are some of the reasons? Is it a choice? Is being gay a choice? You know, so I mean, do you think we understand enough about different ways that people live? What do you think? Do you think people understand about like different ways of living? Do you think people understand about what it means to be straight? Earlier, Mikey was saying that, you know, maybe they should have a straight pride month. Maybe like a lot of people don't know what it means to be straight, you know?
No, I just want to ask some of these guys that have been following the conversation, would you go to a straight pride and do a march saying, you know, we kind of support heterosexual rights?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I just want to ask that people, if you're not necessarily that interested in the gay, would you go to a straight pride march?
Yeah, you're saying.
Nah, I would never go to dining because there's too many feds about and stuff like that.
Say that again. There's too many.
Feds about.
There's too many feds about.
Yeah.
All right. So is that part of the fair? What is feds?
No, obviously, they're everywhere.
So is that part of the fair? Let's get a final thought from you before you leave us. A final thought.
Yeah, Fatima knocked the nail on the head earlier. It's about respect, isn't it? And as for straight pride, I don't think we need it. As a straight person, we've never been marginalised. It's like having a white pride march. White people, certainly in this country, have never been marginalised. We can go to anything. You can be included in any. You could go to any march you want and probably be welcome.
Do we know what marginalised? What is the definition of marginalised? You know, is that the reason why there's a is that the reason why there's a pride march? So, can you explain what marginalised is?
It's someone who's on the margins, who's not within the norm, on the outside of the norm.
Right.
And people have fought hard for recognition of their identity and to not be oppressed. And it's kind of funny, really, like listening to, because Muslims, you know, and jihad, a struggle. It is all part of being a Muslim. It's about struggling and about struggling with your faith. So I would say you would support other people that struggle, because it's just a different name for a different selection of people, isn't it?
Right. Okay. Then, so you're saying actually, you know, it is part. Thank you for joining us. We're here till 5 o'clock. Let us know how your journey goes today. I mean, what do you think about what was just said? Is part of being Muslim about, you know, supporting the struggle, supporting people who are on the fringes? You know, let's hear from some other people. I know, Ali, you definitely have a lot of opinions, but you know, what are your thoughts? What does jihadi mean? What does it mean to be jihadi? You know, what's the definition of a jihad?
A lot of people think jihadi is like terrorist group or something, but what does it actually mean though? No, I don't know. But basically, a lot of these gay people, they want like a.
But you know,
oh, they really say what none of their ass.
Right. So what does jihadi mean? Does anyone know what that means? Just following off from what?
Basically a stereotype.
It's a stereotype.
No, like people will stereotype jihadis.
As how do people stereotype them?
They're bombers and like stuff.
That they're terrorists.
Like they all stereotyped because of 9/11 and stuff.
Right, so you're saying from 9/11, jihadis got like a bad rap as terrorists.
I actually met a guy from Palestine.
One voice.
I met a guy from Palestine whose name was Jihad.
Right.
And I was like, that's a strong name. And he was like that. Jihad doesn't actually mean like war, it means struggle. So it means like fighting for justice, really.
Yeah, so that's a bit like, I mean, you know what, right? Hey, Snapchat Ava on Snapchat. Come and Snapchat us. Come and we got a filmmaker, Louis, in the building. Come and Snapchat us. We are the people speak. Come and take a seat. Come and take. We're talking about, you know, stereotypes in a way. So, do you think in a way that the same way that like, do you think gay people are stereotyped? Do you think there's a stereotype in the same way that like, do you think? You know, because the gentleman holds on, one voice. Take a seat. All right. There's silence. There's a lot of people talking. There's listen. So, what's your name? You've just joined. What's your name? Louis. Welcome, Louis. So basically, I was just trying to make a point that, you know how, do you think Muslims are stereotyped? Yeah. Do you think there's a stereotype? Yeah? What is... Oh, all right, hold on. No, join. Let's give us a final thought. Hold on, 1 sec.
If they're gay, whatever, good luck to them. And here's something else you didn't know. Do you know in the 60s?
Hold on, listen, guys.
Do you know in the 60s, actually the government wrote a white paper about on homosexuality as a way of population control?
Right, so you're saying that actually some people, Ali, Ahmed, someone, yeah, Please tell me. So you're saying that like people, it was used as a way to control the population at one point.
The government wrote a paper on it.
So you're
the
saying,
white paper.
So you're saying that has it been used as a propaganda tool or something? Is that what you're saying?
All I know is there's a paper as a way of population control. What we're all about, I don't know.
Right. Okay.
And I'll just say this. Find people that actually know what they're talking about, because these kids don't have a clue about nothing.
We do know everything.
You know more about you, man.
Right. Hey, take a seat. Ali, let's get a final thought from you before you leave us. Let's get a final thought, Ali.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know
Just
about?
anything you want to leave us with. Is there anything you learnt today? Anything?
Yeah. That being gay is haram, basically. So
That being gay is
haram, yeah. It's
haram. Okay.
I don't like gays.
You don't like gay people?
You can be gay as long as you're not rubbing it in our face. You get me?
Okay.
If you're gay, just go do your own thing. You get me? If it's your Pride Month, go celebrate. Oh yeah, but I forgot.
Any final thoughts?
Gays shouldn't be allowed in this world.
Right.
In Islam, we just think that everyone's equal.
So you're saying that actually in Islam everyone's equal. Everyone's equal in Islam. Right now we're talking about Islam. We're talking about gay pride next week. You know. So, yeah, sure.
If you have a lawn, you're a man.
Right. Okay. So I mean, really, like very heated discussion just took place there about like gay sexuality. I mean, we've got some new faces at the table. What's your name?
Maddie.
Ava.
Leighton.
What's your name? Leighton. We got some filmmakers in the making there. What's your name?
I'm called Jasmine.
You're called Jasmine? He's just over there on the camera. We got Louis, we got Paul. What's your name?
AK2 Trappy.
AK2 Trappy, take a seat. Take a seat, come and join us. What's your name?
Hamish.
I mean, you know, one thing, hold on, guys. One thing about Talkaoke is that we got to listen to each other. We can't be talking over each other. If you listen, then you're gonna hear what I'm saying, right? So, yeah, Talkaoke is a pop-up. All right, hold on. Listen. We can't talk over each other with Talkaoke. One rule of the table is we can't talk over. We gotta listen to what each other are saying. Do you know what I mean? Hold on, Ali. Hold on. For the new people at the table, this is Talkaoke. It's a pop-up talk show. You can talk about anything you want to talk about. I'm Elam. All right. So hold on. You had a point. What was your point that you wanted to make? Listen, guys. Listen.
Racist.
Say that.
Mikey's a racist.
Why? What is a racist?
He told me that he's accidentally racist sometimes, and I don't think it's acceptable.
In what way? In what way is? What is racism? What is racism anyway?
Well, I don't know if I can describe it. Cheers, thanks for that. But I, from what you're saying or what you said, Mac, I agree with that. I think as white people, we're brought up to when we were kids.
You can't say white people.
I'm white.
Guys, one voice.
I'm white.
Louis, you got
No. Listen. I haven't made my point. As a white man, I was brought up to believe certain things, and until I got older, you don't. That's when you sort of know. And so there's things that are just ingrained in your brain that means that you do think or maybe act in a racist way without knowing about it. And it's only by learning that you get better at it. So that's why there's like an accidental thing sometimes.
Guys, earlier you were talking about the fact that being Muslim means that you respect other people. Guys, you're not respecting me right now. I'm trying to conduct this Talkaoke and you're talking over me. Look at this one on her phone. Is this your friend?
No, she's my stepsister.
She's your stepsister. All right, well, you guys have to listen. All right, so, but what do you think about what Paul was saying about being white? Sometimes there's certain things you don't know about your race. And then Ali, so Ali's going to talk. Ali's gonna talk, so we gotta listen to Ali.
Right. Basically.
Ava.
Back to the LGBT topic. You know my friend here. His name's Omar Khalik, and he's gay, and his family don't accept it. That he's gay.
All right, guys. I want everyone to listen, right? Because earlier, I'm explaining the conversation, so please listen. Earlier we were talking about the fact that what is it, your birthday today? Oh, you're a Gemini. That makes sense. I'm a Gemini too. Louis. Earlier, we were talking about the fact that, you know, in Islam, they don't really accept gay people. So Ali, you're saying that your friend Omar here is gay.
Simon, miss.
All right, Simon. Well, you know what? Well, listen. Well, at the end of the day, what's your name again? Jasmine. Jasmine is we gotta listen to other people. And Jasmine, right now, Jasmine, you're talking over everyone. Omar.
Simon.
Yeah.
Simon, what were you saying? So you are gay and you're not accepted in your community?
Yeah, he's not accepted and his family threw him out the house.
My family kicked me out of their house and I live on the bin.
Yeah. I don't think you're telling the truth, Omar. I'm sorry. I don't think you're telling the truth. I don't believe you.
Is not there.
Say that again.
I'm gay, but the appreciation is not.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
That appreciation. My family ain't supporting me in those ways.
Oh right. So.
Bad job, motherfucker.
What are you doing, man? Speak properly.
I can't speak.
So are you Muslim? Are you Muslim?
No, he's Egyptian.
Yeah. Alright, you know what, at the end of the day, how old are you, by the way? You're 14. You're 16, okay? So you should know how to listen to each other. Alright, so what, Paul?
Well, I'm just wondering, just maybe we've got a lot of young people around the table. We've been talking a lot about Blackburn, the history of Blackburn. I just wonder, what is it like for young people in Blackburn? Is it a good place to grow up? Is there stuff to do?
Is Blackburn a good place to grow up? No! Yeah? Alright, hold on. I want to hear what everyone's got to say, but we've got to talk one at a time, because otherwise it's not going to work. Alright, what's your name again, sir? Lais. Alright, Lais is talking, so we've got to listen to what he's saying.
So basically, people in Blackburn, there's many people with different opinions, and some people don't accept people, and some people do accept them.
So what do you like about Blackburn?
There's so many not like this. I like the Korea.
Yeah? Alright, so what do you like about Blackburn?
Yeah, the gal.
You like what?
Some gal a big butt.
Right, so I mean, look, do we respect women enough? Is there enough respect for young girls? How do you feel? Hold on, wait, you gotta talk one at a time, alright? One, you've just spoken, so Ali, I'm asking some of the teenagers around the table, is there enough respect for young girls in the area?
No.
Yes. In what way? Do you think you get enough support as teenagers? I'm gonna come to you in a sec, but I'm gonna get your opinion first.
Thing is though, like in school,
one sec.
In school it's sexist. Like girls, they're expected to they'll be quiet and don't do anything wrong. But boys, just get picked on straight away.
So you're saying that oh yeah, alright, let's get a final thought from you before you leave us.
I think girls are respected enough, and one thing you have to remember, shag and dip.
Alright, so you think everyone's got to sit down, everyone's got to sit down. You can give a final thought, but you got to sit down. Who? What, Mikey?
The one that was sat in the middle.
Mikey. Will. He's getting some lunch. Absolutely.
Final thought. I feel like I get used because everybody said I've got a big bunda, and I know it's true and everything, but leave me alone. I just want
No, Couth. So you can get cards from your school and you can ring them about suicidal thoughts and.
Oh right, so you're saying that there's like a network in a way that you can go to kind of get support if you're having suicidal thoughts or if you're having a difficult time. You can go to the police as well.
Well, if you go to the police, then yeah, but it helps, but it kind of doesn't because they weren't there at the situations. They might not believe you about it.
So you're saying there's issues about being believed when you've been sexually harassed?
What are we talking about? Especially around here.
Yeah.
Like every time that we're out, people hang out at taxi windows and call us gorgeous and stuff, and it just makes girls uncomfortable.
So you're saying that adults?
I'm sat there and my cousin's being called gorgeous by some guy hanging out of a taxi window. Obviously, I'm gonna jump through it and bang him in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You get
okay,
me?
right. Okay, so you want to take some direct action, but
yeah.
So what can? Do you think young people need to? It seems to me that this is an issue that's affecting quite a few people around the table. Even Jasmine, that was here earlier. Do you think young people need to like come together and fight against this, or yeah?
This man right next to me has sexually harassed me more times than you can count. I'm joking.
Yeah, more times than you
It's
can
the other way
count.
around.
It's the other way around, really. I mean,
my big left cheek and right cheek, they both get squeezed every day.
And how do you feel about this?
For being honest, he loves it. For being honest, he's done it that many times. I don't feel it no more.
Yeah, okay, you don't.
He just loves it.
You don't feel it no more. I mean, but what about this issue of like consent? You know, like, is it okay for someone to just touch your bum without asking?
Half of us don't even have big bums, but like, but even if you're a girl, sorry,
people just call you fat.
It was my goal to speak.
Alright, hold on. No, what you got to say? Come on, we're all listening.
Basically,
we're all listening.
Yeah, just because we're girls, we still get cold on. We don't even have big bums, but we still get cold.
I mean,
no, you don't.
So basically, are you just saying that just being a girl alone means that you're seen as kind of like a sexual object? Yeah. Do you think?
Yeah. I don't agree on gays.
You don't agree on gays? But I mean,
I'm not gay.
all right. So, Mikey.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of issues here that we need to deal with, and so many. There's racism, there's sexism, there's, I think, homophobia. I could add to that. There's probably a little bit of Islamophobia coming in there. There's a lot to talk about, I think.
There's a lot to
but
talk
I
about,
personally think the way to do it is to talk about it.
Yeah.
I do think, you know, when the Me Too came out, I think that was a huge shock.
What is hashtag Me Too?
It was like when people were sort of talking about being sexually harassed, and the shocking bit about it was the day-to-day element of it, that how many, mostly women, but some men as well, how many men and women actually were victims of that.
Yeah. So you're saying you were shocked to sort of hear. Hold on, I'll come to you in a sec.
A couple of days ago, I was working at the shop in market, next to the clothes shop, and there was a fight and kicked off between some Muslims and Muslim Asian people. They were fighting.
So who were they fighting?
When I found out of the shop owner after finished work what happened, and he said was they were fighting over a girl.
Oh right, so you're saying that there was actually a group of Muslims who were fighting.
Yeah,
and it was over a girl.
Over a girl.
I mean, there must be more to the story here.
I don't know the full story.
Yeah.
But what I got told, it was fighting over a girl.
Yeah, they were fighting over
because
a girl.
sometimes in the market, at the food court, there are a lot of Muslim guys causing don't give respect sometimes.
So you're saying you've kind of witnessed that sort of sexual harassment?
Can we talk about like disabilities, because they're used as like to insult people, and I don't think it's alright, because I've got people in my family with disabilities, and I get called autistic and ginger, and ginger is a disability, but still, what's wrong with gingers?
Yeah. She's really fit. She's called Leslie.
Okay, there's no need. And also, I think if you're autistic, it's actually very cool, because that means that you're unique.
You know what, right? I'm actually going to be dyeing my hair ginger soon, so I mean, you know, but you know, do you think, absolutely, but you know what, do you think we know enough? Hold on, Louis, do you think we all know enough about different people? You know, earlier there was someone unshakable talking about marginalized communities. Do you think people know enough about autistic people, ginger people? Yeah, absolutely. All right, you had your hand up first, so I'll ask you first.
You go to me next.
I think that's really rude what you said, because I know a lot of ginger people, and they'd be very like offended to hear that you just said that. So please, can you not say stuff like that, or I'll have to call them.
You tell him.
I've literally got a friend called Michael, and he already gets bullied for being ginger, and he's obese. So this is just like really bad, because Michael's watching this right now just to see us,
and he also gets called fat a lot, which is really rude.
But why do you think people have issues with ginger people? Ozone, I'm talking, all right? Why do you think people have issues with autistic people? Why is it used as a slur? What is autism? What is autism? Anyone know what autism is? Let's find out. Okay, I'm going to come to Mikey and he can give a definition.
Well, I mean, autism is part of the what's it called? The neurodiverse spectrum. Yeah. And autistic people have got just a different way of seeing the world.
Yeah.
And they're generally less empathic and more kind of system orientated.
What does that actually mean?
That means that they're not necessarily that good at like reading emotional cues on people's faces and stuff like that. Will, you're going to add something?
Yeah, but I think it's interesting because there might be less inclined to be able to pick up on things like social cues, but they're much more able to look at problem solving skill sets as well. So it's like it's a bit of a mix, isn't it? Although, and that's what society is about, is complementing each other, their strengths and their weaknesses.
You know, I'm actually I can see some police walking. We do need the police here. Hold on.
Come sit with us.
We're talking about some real hold on. We're talking about some issues in this area. We're talking about racism, we're talking about Islamophobia, we're talking about homophobia, we're talking about sexual harassment. This young lady here said that, if she goes to the police to report something, she doesn't feel like that she might be believed. Come and take a seat, come and join in the conversation. Do you think there's enough, do people come to you enough to talk about issues? Do you think you know enough about the issues happening in the area? Come and give us 2 minutes of your time.
I would say that they do get... Sorry. I would say that, we do get a lot of reports. So if anybody's... If you are coming to report it, is that what you've done? You've come there? And are you saying that you didn't feel that you got the service you expected?
No, I'm just saying because, other people feel like they're not believed. People I know feel like they're not believed when they go to the police about things.
In what? Give us 2 minutes of your time. Just a minute. We had some police officers sit around the table yesterday and the day before. So you're saying, so what's your experience of working in this area? What we've been talking about Blackburn quite a bit over the last couple of days. It's got a rich history, but what's your view? What are some of the biggest issues in Blackburn from your perspective?
Sit down on the table, come on.
Can I speak? Especially around this bit here, people hang around, out taxi windows and shout stuff at us, and we're literally young girls, so we shouldn't feel like this.
Yeah, and they also say that they want to I'm not even going to say that word, us, and it's really inappropriate, and we don't like it.
Yeah, can you go to your school to talk about this?
No, because my school.
Yeah.
Come and join us. We're talking about Blackburn. We're talking about the history of Blackburn. We're talking about the present day of what's good about Blackburn. What's nice about it. What food you're eating. What you're making. Are you walking by the canal in Blackburn? Apparently there's a canal that a lot of people don't know about. Come and join us. Do I sound like I'm from Liverpool?
I don't know. You just seem like you are.
I'm from... Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna take that as a compliment. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. I'm actually from London. I'm from London, 4.5 hours away. So I live in London. Yeah.
Is it bad?
I think London's a fantastic place. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about Talkaoke. It's about you. Where do you want to take the conversation? Let me give a recap, a summary of where we started. Today we started talking about Costa Coffee. Can you believe we were talking about Costa Coffee? Apparently the Costa in Nelson is closing down at the end of this month. But that's a good thing for some people because it creates opportunities for creativity. However, for others, a lot of older people meet in Costa. So where are they going to go? How can we create the future of Blackburn? But do we know the history? Do we know enough about the history of Blackburn? Apparently there used to be a lot of acid house parties in the area. A lot of soul singers used to come here.
I was just walking up through the mall city centre. There's literally a timeline of the history of Blackburn that's up there at the minute, but everyone was just walking by it. No one was interested in it. So I wonder if you need to deliver these messages in a different way, maybe.
Do we need to deliver them? Do you know the history of Blackburn?
Easy question. No. I used to come to Blackburn when I was younger.
We're going to come to that.
I used to come to Blackburn when I was younger. the town was a lot different then. It was probably the nighttime economy was very big.
Right.
But a lot of the bars and clubs have closed down or they've changed and things like that. You don't seem to have that nighttime economy now. Now, why that is, I don't know. They've also changed the shopping centre and things like that. They're obviously trying to revive it and make it good. But I think they've still got a lot of work to do yet.
There's still a lot of work to do. I mean, right now we're at the Festival of Making. I mean, what do you think about the nightlife? I know you had your hand up before, Louis, so I'm going to come to you, and then I'm going to come to you, Ava. Ava, I'm going to come to you after this. Oh, you've got more important things. Are you able to ask the question?
One sec. Yeah. I feel like there's far too many knives on the streets of London and Blackburn. Like, one day, somebody could just be walking around and they get stabbed. I seen something on the news, a 14-year-old boy walking with his mum. The boy got stabbed to death and then his mum got put in the hospital.
Where was that?
Yeah, somewhere in London. And I saw another video, something on the news. I think this were a while ago though. And some schoolboy pushed this woman over that had a kid in her hand, like a baby, and he started stabbing her. Like,
wow.
There's too many knives.
So there's too, I was going to ask a stupid question. Where are people?
That's in London. Do you think that's the same in Blackburn?
There's not as many knives in Blackburn, but there are still knives, and a lot of it is in Darwin. Like, I've been through problems with knives. Like, it weren't that long ago. It was, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, 6 months ago.
I'm wondering,
December.
So you're saying
in December?
Did you do to?
I went to the police. And then it got sorted. Nothing really happened. They just went and spoke to him.
I mean, how did you go? Like, did you feel comfortable? Just one sec. What made you go to the police? Did you go by yourself?
Because it was trying to jump me, and it was threatening with knives.
So someone was threatening you. Then you went to the police, and it got sorted.
Yeah.
Do you think enough people know about the fact that they can go to the police?
No.
For support. Where did you find out about that? You know. Where did you find out about the fact that you can actually go to the police to stop someone from potentially harming you?
Well, I went to her house because she's my cousin.
Yeah.
And then I told her, and then her mum told my mum.
Yeah.
And then my mum called police.
So you're saying that there was like a bigger community support that actually, so basically family support, community support is what encouraged you to go to. Do enough people have support in this area? Do enough young people have people in their families that they can go to? Hold that thought. I know you had your hand up for a little while, and then I'm going to come to you, Mikey.
I feel like more people in Blackburn carry them round than actually do stuff with them and just get threatened.
Right.
Then actually. Like loads of people that I know get threatened with knives, and there's things in place to stop it, but there's not enough like done about it because little kids are like worried about like walking alone and like just being stabbed.
Yeah. Right.
And they're also worried about going like different places because.
So you know what? We're going to come on that point, but are you saying that sometimes people carry the knife because they're afraid that someone's going to stab them? Mikey.
Well, that's the point I was going to make. As someone on the outside.
Right.
But I was just saying we were doing a thing on Friday where we were talking to young people in Nelson and Briarfield, and they were saying pretty much that it's that talk of knives and the talk of violence which encourages people to carry more knives. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling cycle that when people start being scared of knives, they actually think it's a better idea. It's wrong, but they think it's a better idea to carry a knife themselves.
Right. So it's just like, I mean, how is this cycle broken? How can you kind of break the cycle? Sorry, what's your name again? Let me do a round of names. I haven't done a round of names in a little while, actually. What's your name?
Mikey.
Will.
Hamish.
Stuart.
Steve.
Louis.
Maddie. Ava.
And
Leighton. I mean, this is Talkaoke. This is a free-form talk show. You can talk about absolutely anything. So, I know. Sorry, is that a question from you, Louis?
Yeah. Do you drive a car?
Sometimes.
Is it really small? Is your second name Stuart? I mean, Little. Yeah.
Hey, we got a comedian. Yeah. We got a comedian here. Sorry, I know you had your hand up for a little while, so let's hear from yourself.
Well, when I was like 11, I was
it was about 8:30. I was just going to the shop to try and get some sweets because I was sleeping over at my mate's. We got some sweets, went round corner, there's this park, saw like a group of like 15, 16-year-olds. We saw them and they ran up to us. My mates had just ran off, left me, and they put a knife up to her neck and said, "Don't tell anyone," and all that. And my mates had just left me. So I was just left on my own, and then I had to go back.
I mean, who did you tell? Did you tell anyone?
I told my mate's mum when I was they told my mum, told police and that. They said they said they would go check up in that area and all that, see if we can get anything. But then it was like 2 weeks later. They said they couldn't find anything.
Right.
But they didn't even go check because one of my dad's mates lives around there. He said he hadn't seen anything around there, so they didn't even. They just left it.
This is in Blackburn?
Yeah.
This is in Blackburn. Yes.
Near. Well, I live on Fernhurst and Livesey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying that basically you told the police, they said that they looked, but then you're saying that someone said that they didn't. Okay.
I just wonder, is there a divide here between the public and the police, and what can it be done to bridge that gap? And I don't know. A lot of people don't seem to be the first port of call, and I've seen you. I've been in a couple of days, and the police is a big presence around here that I've seen, and been really willing to sit down, have a chat, been really friendly. And I just wonder, is there anything? What's the sort of barrier there between the public and yourself? Do you find a barrier between the public, or do you find actually it's quite good in that sort of relation?
No, I think the public are very forthcoming. We do lots of community. We're from the neighbourhood policing department, and our job as a community officer is to be in the, go to the community events, speak to the public, and be that presence.
Yeah.
There is going to be some certain, and I would say probably a minority really that don't want to speak to you.
Yeah. I mean, what's the difference between? Do you think people know the difference between a police officer and a community community support officer?
That varies. Some people know, and some people don't.
What's the differences? What's the differences?
Well, police officers got a power of arrest. The community officer has our role is to be more proactive and try and look at problem solving and prevent issues going on in the community before it happens, rather than reacting to it. And that's our kind of role. So we're kind of gather intelligence, find out speak to the public, find out what's going on, and then act on that.
Right, okay then, so you're like on the ground looking at what issues are here. I mean, do you recognise some of the issues that's been spoken about today among some of the young people about, the knives and all of that kind of thing?
I don't know whether you're aware, but there was a knife angel here just at the cathedral a few months back.
Yeah, what's a knife angel?
Can I say?
You know what a knife angel is?
It's all the knives that have been taken off the street.
Right.
They've used them and they've made them so they're not sharp anymore and built a massive angel with it. And then they move it around to different places.
Oh right, so it's actually a moving sculpture. Who made the angel? Who designed the angel?
I can't remember that, sorry. But so as he said that it was an artist has put this together, and then they're using it as a symbol really to bring to towns and talk about bring up the subject. And while that was here, the police and faith organisations went round to all the schools and did presentations and talks on that.
So it was in combination. I mean, earlier there was an artist. There was actually an artist earlier sitting around the table saying that, to solve a lot of the issues in Blackburn, what we need to do is kind of work with more artists. And I'm thinking, hey, is there a way to sort of deal with your sexual harassment issues through art? Is there a way to deal with the sort of stabbings and knife crime through art? Is there a way to kind of represent the youth voices in Blackburn through art a bit more, I don't know, that's a question. Out there.
Well, I feel like police and stuff should do more talks in schools because kids get
harassed.
No, they get influence from the older people in schools because they see people doing things and they think that it's
makes them look solid when it actually just makes them look like weirdos.
Right, so you're saying there's issues with identity. I remember there used to be a police disco in my primary school. I'm not sure police discos still the police used to come and like DJ, and that was such a eventful night. But you know what, I'm wondering, like, what about the image of police? You know, like, do you think like when police come into schools, do you feel like they might be a little bit intimidating? Do you think there's something about the uniform of police that
came into my old school, some ginger police officer, and it was really nice.
Right, so you're saying his hair colour was ginger. Did his personality have something to do with his ginger hair? Do you think his niceness had something to do with his ginger hair? Do we need more ginger police officers? Or
Red hair, yeah, it made him look really nice.
Right, so colour has an influence on
Which school was that? Do you know? Dhaka, right? Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name, but he worked at the
Harry.
station around the corner. It might be.
Yeah.
So you know what? Do you think like colour has an influence on how people are perceived? Do you think the uniform of the police officer might need to be changed a little bit when coming into schools?
Well, it's interesting what you're saying about what your role is, because you know preventing things turning into crimes, I suppose, and actually trying to solve problems before they become criminal acts. Because I think that is a good role, and in a way. And we did a Talkaoke once where people said, as well as police, you need to have like a force of people that were kind of like not just stopping antisocial behaviour, but actually encouraging pro-social behaviour and actually encouraging people to be nice to each other.
What's pro-social behaviour?
Well, just like things like people being nice to each other and people understanding each other and people, knowing also where to go as well. Because like, say there's a problem with sexual harassment, there's a problem with, what else were we talking about? Knife crime. Do people know how to deal with those things? So, but also other problems like school problems or whatever. Do people know how to deal with those problems?
Family. Yeah.
I think that that we're too hard on gingers because. Wait, are we on the ginger?
Yeah, so finish your point.
Because I know a lot of ginger people and they're all very nice, and I find it really rude how he's proper against gingers, but he's like got loads of grey hair.
She's proper against. Hold on. No, I'm not. One voice.
And I just find it really rude, and and he's racist as well, and he's loads of bad stuff.
Is there some kind of discrimination against the topic of ginger hair has come up quite a bit on the table. I'm still going to dye my hair ginger, guys, so look out for that. But because it's on trend and everything. But do you think ginger people face discrimination? Is there some kind of discrimination, racism? Why?
I remember I was watching YouTube and I saw this thing, and it was like Kiss a Ginger Day, and it's just like, why are ginger people different to everyone else, and like fat shaming and stuff? It's like ridiculous because people develop eating disorders and things.
I want to get a final thought from you before you leave us. Anything you want to leave us with? Any insights from today's discussion?
I think it's great what you're doing.
Great, thank you. Any final thoughts? I know you've been quiet in the back there.
Ditto, really.
Ditto.
Can I say something to them? So Dhaka, yeah. I don't know if you know or not, but there's people in that school setting bins on fire, pouring coffee on teachers' heads, fights every day, kids smoking weed all over. They've all got e-cigs. Yeah. The school don't do anything about it.
Where is Dhaka?
Kids skiving everything. Sainsbury's across the road from there. So I just wanted to let you know. And there's a kid, I just want to say his name, James Hayes. We need him.
Yeah,
we need to get him.
Yeah, we're not able to sort of say specific
We need to get him.
names, yeah. We're not able to say specific names, but so who can you go to? I mean, okay, you've informed the community police. Is there what's the next step? What's the next step that this young man, Louis?
Well, I take you're not at the school. You're not at that school anymore, are you? Right. So, I mean, you've let us know that I can pass that information on to the officers at Darwin, so they can then speak to the school and look into that. Like I say, we're keeping it confidential, so you don't want to be mentioning names and things like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We're going to be here till 5 o'clock. Let us know how everything goes. Thank you.
We was talking about before, like dance battles.
Yeah.
Like,
Can I just say one thing before you go into the...
Oh, no,
yeah,
finish
you
your
can.
point, finish your point.
Basically, as a DECA member,
yeah.
I think that they should just close the school down because there's like people setting off fire alarms every day. Well, not every day, but they set them off all the time. So I have to go outside, take my bag and everything outside, and it's just unbelievable. Don't take pictures of me, please.
Oh, so you want to be anonymous.
And
Cool.
and I just think that they should close the school down because it's doing
What
rubbish.
school is that? Is that the same DACA school?
Yeah, it's rubbish.
So I mean, all right. So
poo.
those PCOS
Mate, no,
people,
let him finish talking.
PCSO, so they're gonna inform the local police to sort of do that. I'm wondering, like, you know, so what school do you go to?
me.
Yeah.
I go Craig's.
Craig's, yeah. Where is that?
It's in Blackburn. It's a very good school, but the people in it are so horrible sometimes that you feel like really emotional.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, does there need to be is there enough support networks within schools? Are there enough sort of support? Are there enough safe spaces where you can go to? Do you guys need to create like a collective of young people against, you know, bullying? A bit like what Mikey was saying. Do you need to sort of create a group that sort of promotes positivity? What's your name?
Edna.
Edna, welcome Edna to the table of chats. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I don't go to school anymore, but I've got grandchildren
that go to school.
Can I ask you, what were the schools like when you did go to school? Was it as rough as?
No, my school was fine. I went to St Hilda's, and then it's joined on with St Peter's, so it's now St Wilfrid's. It's a church school.
Yeah.
No, we didn't see anything like that. My son was bullied at school.
Oh.
We had a lot of problems with my son being bullied.
Yeah.
And I took him out of school eventually.
And what did you do? Oh, so you took him out of school. That was
eventually.
The sort of result of that.
And he just went back to do his exams. But they were waiting for him on the bus. They were following him round. There was eventually he got beat up. He ended up in hospital, and we got some. There was drinking and doing drugs in the woods down by Holy Cross. It was in Charlie, and there was woods and people were coming in.
I mean, do you think Blackburn has changed in any way? Do you think it's a safer place now for young people? Is it a safer place now for mature people? You know? Is it a safe place for you people your age?
I live in Brinscoll, which is 5 miles. I live in the country.
So you live in the country of the Lancashire area?
Problems with drugs or anything because I live right in the country. But my family, my daughter lives in Blackburn and my grandchildren.
We got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Mick.
Mick, we're talking about Blackburn, we're talking about Lancashire, we're talking about crime, we're talking about art, creativity, school.
Basically, right, some things that happen around here are like actually unacceptable because like we was going, like teenagers have a really bad like name because some are naughty, but like us, we're good people, and we literally get like
kicked out of youth.
Yeah, we get kicked out of you for no reason when we're literally just on the arcade things. And then like down there, we always ask to have a go on these skateboards. We're not planning to nick them.
Where is the skateboards? Where are the skateboards?
Down around there, and we always say, please can we have a go? We won't take them or anything. We just wanted to have a go.
Yeah.
Because we don't own them, and then they always say no because you'll nick them, and we won't. And it's just like we've got a bad name.
So you're saying that young people in general have a bad sort of reputation? Just give me 1 sec. I want to get mixed viewpoints.
Well, on that topic, I reckon presumptuousness.
Yeah.
Because they've presumed, haven't they, that you're bad people. So I always think presumptuousness is a killer. Because you presume that you're bad and you're not. So I don't like presumptuousness.
I mean, what about when you were growing up? Like, did you have the same reputation? Could you skateboard freely? Could you?
Well, we didn't actually have skateboards when we were younger. We used to have to make them, we used to get like roller skates and nail them to the bottom of boards and stuff. Just to make a skateboard, And the posh kids all had like the brand new, when they'd just come out skateboards and stuff, it's quite a while ago.
Yeah. But you're saying that you used to make. Do you think young people make enough stuff? Would you like to learn how to make a skateboard? Yeah, maybe,
Yeah, I think there's there's a lot more to do than what people think there is, especially when you're young. You don't realise how many different things there are.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I think I'd say. But I think that, like, there are places like the Bureau in Blackburn that help, you know, people make things and repair things and mend bikes and things like that. So
you're saying that it's going back to a lot of the makers. Come and take a seat. Come and get involved.
You know a place you should go to buy creative things?
Talk to me.
You should go to. He's trying to take pictures of me. Sorry. You should go to the Forge. My uncle owns it. Her dad. Not her dad. The Forge. You know Premier in Lower Darwin, near Bamboo House.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you go straight down, there's like a load of shutters and stuff. If you walk in, there's like a shutter and then there's a door with a cage on it.
What is Forge? What is it?
The Forge.
The Forge.
He builds stuff and he gets a bit attached sometimes, so he doesn't want to sell.
I mean, do you like building stuff? What things do you like to build?
I built a leaf. I think I left it at home.
Yeah.
But
so you built it. I mean, I know you've had your hand up for a little while, so.
Right. This is still about school.
Yeah, no problem at all.
At DACA, they've added a lot more teachers, and I feel like it's doing nothing but making the school stricter, making more people want to leave. So they should just stop. There's loads of different types of head teachers now, and it's just really weird.
So you're saying actually there's a big changeover of.
But I think this
talking about changeovers.
We're going to have a changeover. But I think this question about school and creativity. I think. Give us a final thought. Final thoughts before you go. You might as well stay in for the final thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a poet. Got a poem before I go.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Let's get a final thought from these guys.
Yeah.
So first off, he keeps trying to take pictures of me, and he keeps pressing X on anything about racism or Islamic.
I'm not going to go like this. I'm not going to go racism.
What button should he press?
You could say no for racism. You could go.
So yay for racism.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's my thoughts. And this man, his first impressions were racist, but he is starting to be a bit more sound towards the end. So
what does that teach?
You're my new friend. Now
so what does that teach? As you get to know people, you get.
Who's the teacher? What teacher?
Right.
Right. Well, basically, me and Ava are gonna do some dancing.
What kind of dancing?
Okay, talking about what does the fox say, we're going to have the fox in the box back in. We're going to have a poem from, what's your name? What's it? Mick. A poem from Mick. We couldn't keep the audience there, but maybe they'll come back with the poetry. They'll get reeled back in because they're still standing around. So hopefully we'll get some audience for this poem, but maybe we can do it again later on once we've drummed up some more punters. Oh no, they're back. So there you go. You going to do a poem?
So, what would you like a poem about?
You know what? Maybe you could.
About Blackburn.
About Blackburn. Yeah.
Poem about Blackburn.
Yeah.
Anything at all. It could be about your interpretation of it. Could be about the favourite thing about it.
I think we'll do what's it all about.
What's it all about?
Okay, you kids. Do you know what it's all about?
Take a seat.
Everything. Do you know what it's all about? I'm going to tell you now, right?
Can I shout out my Snapchat first?
No, you got to wait. I'm on it. One snap, one chat. In a minute, pal.
Wait, let me.
No, don't video me.
Why?
Right, are you ready?
You're on TV.
I'm ready for this.
Are you going? Right, what's it all about? It's all about the sunshine. It's all about the rain. It's all about the morning. It's all about the pain. It's all about the ocean. It's all about the tide. It's all about emotion and the way you are inside. It's all about the mountains and where you love to roam. It's all about the only place you truly call your home. It's all about the starry night, the boat that sails the sea, and it's all about the song and dance and what you mean to me. And it's all about tomorrow, and it's all about today, and it's all about forever, and it's all about the way we live our lives. It's all about the children, it's all about the mums, it's all about the fathers, it's all about the sons, it's all about the fortune, it's all about the fun, it's all about the things you're doing, wish you'd never done. It's all about forgiveness, it's all about the moon, it's all about the music, it's all about the tune, it's all about the water, it's all about the wine, it's all about the moment, not the minute, not the time, and it's all about tomorrow, and it's all about today, and it's all about forever, and it's all about the way you live your life. That's what it's all about.
What an introduction to the next segment. They're talking. You're dropping that and you're going because you can't just drop them shells and leave like that.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, come sit down. Come take a seat. Alright, come back later. Come back later.
Michael.
Right, well, we're going to leave the gingerism in the past. We're going to forget about that for now. Mike is on a bit of a timeout because he's causing too much controversy in Blackburn. That poem, what a way to kick it off. I mean, we've got a new host in the middle. My name's Will. We're going to carry on talking. You've been through a journey, I imagine, with us this afternoon, haven't you, really? Like, you've seen it all, you are now part of the history of Talkaoke and Blackburn. I mean, it's been an experience. Where did we go? I mean, I feel like we just need to take a bit of time to wind down. This is the first time... Yeah,
it got really intense.
It's gone...
Yeah?
William Michael Neary, that's Neary.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, it all got a little bit. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. It was intense, but that is what Talkaoke is sometimes, you know?
For like 20 minutes.
I know, honestly, when you were gone, honey.
Clearly, I'm just a calming presence.
Nice one where we were like, oh, we need all hands on deck here, and then where's Will? Oh,
that's what us Brummies do best. We disappear when we're needed. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a specialty.
It was a bit. It was hot. It was hot because we were just investigating this subject of pride in Blackburn, and how does that travel with Islam and different religions, and how does that travel with questions of respect? And it was a hot potato, put it that way.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing the footage later on, if I'm honest with you. I'm very excited, but when we say it was a hot potato, what was your account? What went down? What happened?
That was some Muslim the guy was sat down there. No, the guy was sat down there saying he was gay. I don't think so, he's gay.
So there was people that identified as gay at the table, and
because he was just saying that.
Oh, so maybe he was what? He wasn't in agreement.
It was just trying to be controversial. And it was like, you know, the controversy was feeding off of itself in a way. It was kind of spiralling, if you know what I mean.
More controversy.
Yeah. Just because people wanted to be controversial, they were kind of attracted to that controversy in a way.
I mean, are people controversial for the sake of being controversial?
Well, no, but I think I like to go towards controversy as well, but in a way to kind of understand.
Do you find controversy interesting? Do you like a bit of controversy in your life? Or are we too vanilla? No, the conversation's a bit too vanilla, clearly.
No, well, we're having a calm moment now, so we're just having a bit of a, exactly, more of a jazz. Yeah, it's fine. But I thought it was a
session, if you will. Do you know what I mean?
I thought it was thought provoking, though. It was, yeah.
You know what I kind of liked?
What did you like?
I kind of liked the way that people were talking very openly about things that, you know, you wouldn't really hear people talk about openly anymore. I think it's kind of good because then those viewpoints can be challenged, or it can make people think. And I think just people having a platform to talk is always a good thing.
I mean, the thing is, when we left it on the prior conversation before, I mean, I feel like I just had a different session to everyone else, because we were talking about like cats and dogs and pies, and all of a sudden it comes back to, get back here, Will, we need help, what's going on, what's happening, I'm running through the mall going, move, you know, what?
Oh, no.
What's happening over in Blackburn? Give us a final thought, Mick, before you leave.
What about?
Anything you like, what are you thinking right now?
Another poem if you want.
Yeah, have another poem as your final thought if you want to.
What do you want a poem? What do you want one about?
What about, like, I don't know, the future.
The future.
One that's topical, right? Leaders of your nation, see, it's your responsibility to ensure that your people see and love their children's children. So must we all, to find our place, return to thoughts of peace and grace. Allow your neighbour time and space to make the right decision. Don't leave buried in time sands the laws by which our God commands, till every person understands we must love one another. That's called the egg timer, by the way. Thank you.
Love that. That was great.
We're talking about today as well. that's really spot on to what you'll have to go through the footage yourself to see how that conversation went down. But thank you, Mick. We'll be looking you up as well. We've got your socials. Maybe it's time just to have a little, we've come a natural ebb and flow.
Pop to the loo, and then I'm going to get some hot, warm food.
I just want to say well done, people, because it has been, it's always best when it's, hang on a second, we need a final thought from you before we close this down. Hang on, Hamish, coming, we need a final thought.
Hamish, final thought.
Final thought. Don't know what to say.
Sometimes this happens. What's the final thing? You get to say the final word of the Talkaoke Blackburn experience.
And being enjoyed today was quite good. Next Saturday is the Gay Pride in Blackburn. Come along.
Can't wait, Hamish. Have a great one. Thanks for joining us.
You know what? We need this Talkaoke table there next week to do, because I feel like there is some issues that we can discuss.
You can do that thing on your own, Mikey. That's not a problem.
Anyway,
at home in Birmingham.
Meantime, we have a little break. We're going to pause the cat. Rick, this is a break point. Maybe we should do a little signal so Rick knows.
Rick's.
Help.